make a sequel to Devil's Crush.
Oh my God, yeah.
But was Devil's Crush in itself a sequel to Alien Crush?
Yeah, it was.
Well,
I'm sorry, yeah, Devil's Crush was a sequel to
Devil's
Alien
Crush is a sequel to Alien Crush, and Jockey Crush is a sequel to Devil's Crush.
Jockey Crush?
Yeah, Jockey Crush.
That's like horse jockeys?
No, jockey like the Japanese like devil name, like jockey.
Okay. I think a horse jockey pinball game would be fun.
That would be pretty badass.
Pretty good.
I'm sure it's been made. There has to be one out there.
Let's assume.
But we should order that because Jockey Crush is an SNES game, and it's really good.
Okay.
Wait, Crush on
On SNES, yeah. Well, on Super Famicom. Not
It's time to
SNES,
start
Super
the
Famicom.
show.
Yep, sorry.
Starting the show. What's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN Game Scoop. I'm your host, Damon Hadfield. Joining me this week, Justin Davis,
Scoop.
Jared Petty,
Jockey Crush.
Vince Ingenito.
What's good?
We've got a great show for you this week. We begin this week with an email that arrived in the Game Scoop mailbox.
You're mixing it up. You're flipping my whole, everything's
You're
upside
changing
down.
all my perceptions of what Game Scoop could
Topsy-turvy.
be.
You gotta stay on your toes. Remember, you can always reach us at the email address, gamescoop@ign.com, just like Michael did. You know, we've been talking a lot about Rare Replay recently. You've been playing a lot of Replay.
Yeah, it's all I'm playing
Justin,
these days. I
really good.
I finished Perfect Dark.
30 classic games for $30. So, in that regard, Michael says, if Sony and Microsoft had their own Rare Replay that spanned their previous consoles, what games do you think would be included?
Now we're talking about first-party properties here?
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Are
first
we
game that
gonna
comes to
go? Are we
my
gonna
mind.
go in order?
So let's do Sony,
Okay.
and I've put together a list of good games, but there's too many. So I want to cut it down to 30.
Okay.
And I capped it off at 2008 because that's the last game in Rare Replay, Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts.
Okay.
So those are like that's the confines. We can go back as far as we want, but we stop at 2008.
Okay.
Siphon filter.
Well, hold on.
Wait.
I have a list. Let me like we got to keep this thing organized here.
Damn it.
Sony Replay,
Structure.
Twisted Metal.
Sure.
Yep.
Do you think 1 and 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
So from
Yeah,
the
I
original
like that,
PlayStation.
sure.
Yeah.
And Twisted Metal Black.
No.
Black is
Maybe.
good, but I don't know if
Now
you
it's
need
10% of Sony Replay. That's too much.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm thinking also, like, do we really need one if we have two with Twisted Metal?
I
I think 2 is the better one.
You think that's the better one?
I think two is the one.
We axe 1. And we keep Black?
Yep.
Is Black
No,
different
not
enough?
Black. We take.
I just take two.
2 is the only one.
I would say we take 2 for sure. I would put Black in a maybe pile.
Yep.
Okay, I'm crossing out Twisted Metal 1,
Get it out of there.
question marking Black.
Okay.
The Raiden Project, I put this on for myself. It's a collection of Raiden arcade shooters.
No,
Yeah,
I know
I know.
exactly
The
what you're
PlayStation
talking
1.
about.
That was first party?
Yeah, they published by Sony.
Publisher. Yeah, I'm with you on Raiden Project. I
I don't know
really
if
enjoy it.
I don't know if I mean I love Raiden Project.
Let's leave it on
and
for now. We'll
Okay.
revisit it. Crash Bandicoots. 1, 2, 3.
Obvious. You gotta have all. I mean, I know you gotta have them all. You gotta have 1, 2, 3.
I agree.
It's too
one of
much.
the-
It's too much. You can't not have one.
It's one of the flagship.
Again, that's 10% of the whole replay.
Yeah, I
No,
know.
but it's one of the
that's
flagship properties for.
What
for-
choice
for
do you
Sony.
have?
I think it's important for their history. Let's see what else is on here, but at this point,
Okay.
1, 2, 3, I don't care for these games, but much of the universe does.
No, they're not fantastic games.
That's
I
true.
think I think 2 is pretty.
You know what? You got to
fantastic.
get on there.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh man, no wait, but it's related.
What?
You got to get Crash Team Racing on there
No.
for sure.
No, Vince
for
says
sure.
no. Vince says no.
You're insane. Crash Team Racing.
I like Crash Team Racing more than I like any of the Crash Bandicoot games.
I like Crash Team Racing more than almost every Mario Kart. Certainly any Mario Kart that had come out at that point.
What?
Sure, I can agree with that, but to me those are all just. I mean, I don't know. It sure is
Crash-
a kart racer. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I mean, whatever. We don't need to belabor the
Maybe
point.
I don't like kart racers as much as some other people do.
I wrote
It had
down
a
as
really
possibility.
good time trial mode.
Do we include both Parappa and Jammer?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, okay. I agree with
so
that.
good.
You want Bloody Roar on there?
Oh, I like Bloody Roar.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I like
so.
Bloody Roar, but I don't know.
I put a question mark next to it.
It's not a
Question mark
classic.
that
Question
one.
mark on Bloody Roar.
We're not doing a great job of cutting games. We're adding games.
I want to put Tomba on there.
sure.
Definitely.
Okay, sure.
No,
Fine with that.
Tomba or Tomba 2?
Which one's better?
I think 2 is the better game.
Think so? I only played Tomba 1, so like that's my
I
But we
favorite.
played the
can't.
hell
We
out of
can't. We
2.
can't keep including only sequels. I mean, maybe we can. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah, we know it. It's our compilation.
All right.
Armored Core.
Yes, but you have to, I guess, pick the right one.
I thought that was FromSoft. I guess maybe they weren't
But it was
publishing their own
published.
stuff.
It was
yet.
published.
Sony
So,
published it on
right.
PlayStation
Yep.
1.
Yeah.
I remember it being good.
Yeah, I
like
love Armored Core. That stole hundreds of hours of my life.
Well, Blasto.
Yeah.
Who was the actor, the comedian who voiced Blasto?
Oh God.
He was
What's his name?
murdered.
Phil Hartman.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So Blasto.
I don't
think
have
it's a particularly
strong-
great game.
Yeah.
But it's an important. It's
like
an interesting game, like to include in a package. Like,
I don't have strong
Like Cobra
feelings.
Triangle's not a great game either.
No,
but
it's
in
not.
Rare Replay.
It definitely deserves consideration, but it's one of the it would be one of the first to go. I think.
That's the big secret about Rare Replay is that look, it's my most played game of the last month, but like half those games are bad. They're bad
Oh,
games.
sure, yeah, like-
Attic Attack.
Attic
Attack's okay.
Oh man, Underworld's bad. Night Lord's bad. A lot of them are bad.
Night Lore's not bad. Night Lore is good. Night Lore is neat.
All right, let's
Especially with the rewind function.
check this out. How good was Hot Shots Golf?
Yeah.
Exceptional.
Right.
that's a
So
very
do we
good
Hot Shots
include
Golf is
2, 3, and 4?
No. You pick
no,
one. You
I
pick a
think-
representative.
I think three might be the
three
one.
is the best. Hot
3
Shots
was
Golf.
like the
Yeah.
peak?
Yeah,
Hot
it's,
Shots
in
Golf?
my opinion, I think.
I don't remember those old school ones.
Yeah.
I remember the PSP, like side shoot of
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
franchise.
Yeah, those were.
I'm
those
with
were
Vince
the
on
two,
this.
but
3 is really
three
All
was
right,
the
I'm
one.
cutting 1, 2, and 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, I want this. I want this
And
compilation.
Hot Shots
now.
Out of Bounds?
What's that?
That's another
I
Hot
didn't-
Shot.
I didn't play Out of Bounds.
For PS2.
That was PS. Oh, it was PS2.
Maybe
or
PS3. Maybe it's
I didn't play Out of
PS3.
Bounds.
I didn't include PSP games, so we're sticking consoles. All right, I'm scratching out Hot Shots Out of Bounds. We're just keeping Hot Shots 3. Medieval.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
That's a neat representative game.
Again, I keep getting caught on do I think it's a great game. It doesn't have to be great. It just has to be, to me, the criteria is like, is this emblematic of the Sony
Yeah.
Sony catalog?
Medieval's one of those franchises that
Medieval's.
oddly keeps getting rumored to be
Yeah.
rebooted.
We saw like
Yeah.
footage of a
That-
modern.
That turned out to be fake, but I mean, it means it's in the ether somewhere in gamer culture. It's remembered more than Blasto. Let me put it that way.
That's true,
It took me a second to remember the Phil Hartman blast.
right?
Yeah.
Spyro the Dragon.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah, that's important.
Definitely.
Spyro Year of the Dragon.
I don't even know. I don't know what that is.
I have now.
A sequel that has like a 91 on Metacritic, so it was well reviewed.
Wow. I have never played this.
I only played Spyro 1.
Okay.
I played 1 and 2.
Maybe not Spyro Year of the Dragon. Ape Escape.
Yes.
Definitely.
Oh my goodness
But
gracious.
also
Escape is a
2 and 3?
classic.
Yeah.
Ape Escape 2 and 3?
You gotta do it.
All 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
All 3
I mean,
episodes?
I'll
They're all
consider.
great. They're all great.
Yeah, we can talk about cutting if we need to cut this down. For now, they stay in.
Okay.
For sure.
What about Gran Turismo's?
100%, yeah.
All,
This is really hard.
1, 2, 3, 4.
No, I think with
three's the original PS1.
No,
like,
the 3 is the first one on PS2.
oh,
Yeah.
then I'm thinking of 2.
2 is the ultimate PS1.
2 supersedes 1.
Okay.
At
I agree.
least.
But racing games don't age well. I mean, RC Pro Am and RC Pro Am 2
Yeah,
are on
like
rare
you want to
replay,
play
but
Gran
those
Turismo
are,
2 today?
No.
Does anybody want to do that?
Those games are all about the real.
Actually, I actually kind of really disagree that they don't age well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, racing games age great.
No, I think RC Pro Am age is great, but I don't think that a game
Arcade
like Gran
racing
Turismo, which is mostly built on being cutting edge. Gran Turismo is all about looking great, driving great.
I think
being
that game
beautiful.
still feels
It's-
great if you were to pick it up today and play it.
Sure,
try this. Okay.
And regardless of whether I think I can see both sides of it, but I think the key thing again is going back to not are these games still great today. The question is, are they emblematic of the Sony platform?
You at least include 2
And
as a
Gran Turismo
PS1.
certainly is that.
Great.
Okay.
And then I fell off the franchise. I don't know 3 versus 4 or any of that. So
So we can cut the first one.
Yeah.
First Gran Turismo. What
2 for sure.
I just feel like
Keep
when
to-
you look at GT or Forza games, and I do think that having something representative is good.
Yeah.
But these games, once you've played, Forza 4, there's no reason to play Forza 3. Once you played Forza 3, there's very little reason to play Forza 2. And you run into the same thing with GT games a lot of the time. All the features you love tend to be there generation to generation,
Yeah.
and it just gets
It's just
better.
the car list is updated and the
Yeah.
physics get better.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it gets prettier. So maybe having one to be a nod to that era might be best.
GT4.
Like maybe GT4, GT2, one of those.
GT4, we feel good about this?
Yeah,
say,
4 is
All right.
4's good.
Going GT4. Vib Ribbon.
Oh,
not
Def-
released in
has
the
to be.
US,
Has to be.
but
Has to be.
Absolutely.
it wasn't released in the US?
No.
Nope.
Did I import that game? I have that game.
I imported that game.
Yeah, get rid of all 3 crashes if you have to get Vib Ribbon on there.
I used to be more, ironically, before I worked super heavily as a games journalist, I was more hardcore, like I would import stuff all the time.
Sure, that too, yeah.
And now I don't
Yeah,
ever
I
do
modded
that.
my PlayStation so
Yeah.
I could
Yeah,
play
me
these
too. My
imported games.
PlayStation, my Saturn, my Dreamcast.
I soldered a little chip in
Yep.
there.
When I discovered AudioSurf, I was just like, what? Somebody finally, it's somebody did something with Vib Ribbon idea.
Yeah.
I was just like, thank you for.
I think the original Siphon Filter is probably the one to put on there.
Okay,
Is that true?
I'm good with that.
You guys good with that?
agree. Yep.
Dark Cloud, getting on the PlayStation 2. Dark Cloud.
I didn't play I played Dark Cloud 2.
Dark Cloud, a terrible game. But,
Terrible game.
But
I cut it.
Okay.
What?
Dark Cloud 2?
2's
Dark-
good.
2's
2 was good.
Yeah, 2's good. I think 2 is, if there's
So put
one
Dark
in
Cloud
there.
2 on there.
2, am I even remembering? I get all these JRPGs mixed up. Is Dark Cloud 2 the one where you build the world
Yes.
as you go?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, it was good.
You could just play that one and not have to play the first one?
You know, that's what I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say
What's your,
2.
Jared, you're
I'm not big on
vexed.
Dark Cloud 1 or 2. So
Okay.
I'm like, I feel like compared to some of these other things, that could
Maybe
be
that's the
forgotten.
question mark.
Sure.
Dark Cloud 2.
Dark Cloud is cut. 2,
Question
we
mark.
can put a question mark.
I don't like.
Now, do you think we could cheat on our replay? Can the Ratchet and Clank collection just be one game?
Sure.
Okay.
We're collecting.
We're the sheriffs here. There's no cops.
Yeah.
Okay, then we can just put the Ratchet and Clank collection.
There we go.
Yep.
Who's
Why
going to
not?
stop us?
Exactly.
Now, SOCOM 1, 2, and 3 are all well reviewed.
Sure.
That's tough.
Yeah.
But they're so like they're built for online play. So you'd have to like revive the servers.
Yeah. But again, we're authoring our own future here.
So we put SOCOM.
So-
We want SOCOM 1, 2, and 3 all on here.
No. I mean, I was never a big SOCOM guy.
I just played the first one.
I think
I
3
played the
is the
first one.
definitive one.
Yeah.
I think 3 is
3 really?
I think 3 is considered the definitive one. I didn't play a lot of them. But,
Okay.
Okay, so one of the SOCOMs.
I think a
and I don't care
SOCOM
which
should
one.
definitely be on, again, like,
So maybe just 3.
sure.
That was
Okay.
the one. You're okay with this, Jared?
Sure,
Okay.
yeah.
SOCOM 3.
Yeah.
War of the Monsters.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, throw it on
absolutely.
there.
Jared's,
Yes.
or Justin says no.
Yo, no, War of the Monsters is marvelous. There's nothing quite like it.
there's nothing else.
I mean,
It's one of the very few playable kaiju games. There are
Yeah.
not a lot of kaiju games that are actually fun.
Yeah.
War of the Monsters really is.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, do you disagree, Justin?
I'm gonna say I'm gonna abstain from this one.
It was a
Okay.
great. And it also sold really well, and was a. It was definitely one of those games that people were like, "Hey, I got a Sony platform, console here now. I gotta get War of the
A
Monsters."
next-gen War of the Monsters would really make me happy. Like, if they announced a War of the Monsters game tomorrow, I would be ecstatic.
There's like a whole other page of games. That list looks really big.
Just hold on. We got to go to Microsoft after this.
Okay.
Now, like Ratchet and Clank collection, we can cheat and put the Jack and Daxter collection.
Okay. Yep. I'm
That
good with
takes care of that.
Sure.
How about Killzone?
Yeah.
1 and 2?
2 is where the franchise really became a thing.
Yeah.
But 1 is the most experimental,
Yeah.
I think, gameplay-wise. They've got this interesting
That's
thing
true.
going on in 1 where you play different characters.
You have the different characters.
And every character, in a single-player shooter, this is kind of revolutionary at the time, in a single-player shooter, different characters actually have completely different weapons and mechanics and even different routes through the stage.
Yep.
Yeah.
You've got, in the same level, like, at once you can
Play
be
it
playing the scout
stealthy
guy
and-
who's,
yeah.
like, infiltrating and getting to the roof to give, like, covering fire for the last fight, or, like, the assault guy who's front row
Yeah.
center for it. Like, that was kind of interesting. And visually, I mean, for the time anyway, Killzone 1 was super impressive.
I'll
too.
abstain from this. I care more about saltine crackers than Killzone games. So.
I love saltine crackers.
Yeah,
so
they're really good.
There's actually very little I care about more than saltine crackers.
Awesome!
Yeah.
You put a little Vienna sausage
Very
on
little.
them. It's so good.
Saltine crackers are the best. If there's like so you like the praline
Yeah.
crackers, right? There's like 4 packs of them. Like if that pack is like anywhere near me, like all of it is going inside me. It's just just one by one. Just
And like 7 of those crackers have like 80 calories.
I know,
It's
they're really
amazing.
bad for you. They're
so
really,
bad
really
for you,
bad
but they're
for
so
you.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so good.
continuing on, Killzone 1 and 2 are going to include Sly Cooper, the first one.
Yeah. No,
I think it's the
all
one.
3 of those games are
wow.
Yes. Like,
Yeah, but again, we're running out of
great. Did they
space
make a
here.
collection?
I don't think they did do a collection.
No, they did a Sly collection, but not till the generation later. They did the HD collection. Of
And the
them.
reason we're having so much trouble talking about that particular aspect of things is like the sequels is that when you think about Rare Replay, Rare doesn't have a bunch of
Right.
Yeah.
franchises that like
I
go.
remarked on that too. Like they, good or bad, like Rare's library is not incredible, but God bless them for doing like Jet Force Gemini and
Yep.
Blast Corps and then
Yeah.
Banjo and then Perfect Dark. And Perfect Dark was very different than GoldenEye.
Yeah.
They really didn't like. If you made Perfect Dark today, there would be 11 Perfect Dark games.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's really not. I mean, maybe Zero killed it. Maybe
Yeah.
that's a bad example.
Sure.
But I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Yeah.
just weird.
Yeah,
And in-
they did the Saber Wolf isometric thing a couple of times, culminating with Night Lore, and they did RC Prom and RC Prom 2. And I'm hard pressed to think of many other sequels.
Even when you look at GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, what's interesting about that is that in today's world, you make if GoldenEye succeeds that way, then you just make it GoldenEye 2, but just throw in all those wacky ideas and new things and don't call it a different game.
Yeah.
But that's what's cool is that back then they're like, yeah, we want to use the same general platform, we want to make it totally different though. And then like instead of using the cachet of GoldenEye, they just say, yeah, we're
Rare used to be so good. They were the tops.
All right.
Yeah, they were, man.
But we're talking about the Sony
Yeah,
replay
you
collection.
gotta-
Sly Cooper.
You gotta include
Yeah.
them.
1 and 2 and 3.
I don't remember which was best. I would only include
I don't
one
remember
Sly
which is
Cooper game,
best
but I
either.
don't remember which is best.
I thought it was the first one that was considered
What-
really the
what
best.
They become more sort of heist-like and more sort of having your crew fulfill different roles in the later games. I don't know. They're pretty different. They're all really good.
All right, we'll see how we
Sly's really.
stand
I
at
kind
the
of
end
want
of
to.
this. Shadow of the Colossus.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no question.
Resistance 1 and 2.
Did you skip Eco?
I don't know if that was published by.
Yeah, you might be. You might
And we're
be
kind of
right.
doing this in a weird way too, because Rare's about development that were published through all different
mean,
kinds of people. We're doing developed by a lot of different people, published by one
yeah,
That's
company.
true.
So
And that's-
it's-
I don't know how else to do it. But.
Yeah. Oh no, I think it's.
Yeah,
not a
developed
criticism.
by SCEA could have been an alternative, but yeah, this.
Resistance 1 and 2 probably should be on there. Yeah.
I like Resistance.
I like Resistance quite a bit.
I mean, I don't care for the games. I recognize their importance in like Sony history.
I think Resistance 1 would do me fine.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't love as much as it expanded on the original in a lot of ways. I didn't love 2.
Okay. I'm going to cross
I
out
think
2.
one.
Because you weren't crazy about either of them.
I don't like them. No, I don't like any of them.
So then
I can live in a world where Resistance isn't in this collection too, though. If you feel strongly about it.
Yeah,
that would be weird. As someone
gotta
plays
die.
without
you gotta
Resistance.
do it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You gotta do it. You don't have a choice.
Okay. Heavenly Sword.
Oh yeah.
See, I really
love
liked
that
Heavenly
game.
Yeah.
Sword.
Okay. That one's
Yeah,
going to
I'm
be
there
on it. Motorstorm.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There was a sequel that was a little bit more definitive, wasn't there? Or did that come out too late?
2?
I am. These are hands off for me.
There was 2 and then Apocalypse.
I feel like Motorstorm should be on there.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I didn't
Uncharted,
finish it.
obviously. But if
Nah.
we're just to include the first one?
Nah. Nope.
I mean,
If you're gonna do an Uncharted game,
but I think Uncharted 2 was 2009.
You gotta
Yeah.
do. You gotta do all of them. They're too
Yeah,
big
you
of a
have to.
deal.
but we only have one of them that fits in our window. So
Yeah.
Oh well, then yeah.
Yeah.
You do Uncharted.
Can we
1.
fix the grenade throwing in Uncharted 1?
Sure.
If we do this,
Yeah,
okay,
we can
cool.
update it, yeah.
all right.
We just, look at how easy that was.
All right.
Finally, Super Stardust HD.
Yes.
Stardust
Oh, yeah.
HD.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So,
Well-
that puts us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20,
Oh, maybe
21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That's not bad.
37.
You're
We
missing.
gotta cut 7, so we can cut one more Gran Turismo.
No, we only cut one train.
Can we cut?
We can cut one.
So going back, Twisted Metal Black.
Bye.
We're only keeping Twisted Metal 2.
There's some things that haven't been brought up that I'm kind of surprised.
Oh, like what?
And again, this might be a situation where they weren't actually published by them. I guess I'm just thinking about exclusives, but like, what about Castlevania Symphony of the Night?
No, that was a Konami
That was
game.
Konami
Yeah.
published.
Was Konami-
The big
Yeah,
one
and
is.
I wasn't including stuff like Bushido Blade that was co-published by Sony and
Right.
Yeah, I was wondering.
So
I was gonna say,
only-
what about Final Fantasy VII?
co-published.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
okay,
like to me, when I think about, so if the purpose of Rare Replay is to really like distill the flavor of what that
Yeah.
developer is all about, I feel like a Sony Replay would be all about distilling that flavor, and like I don't know, I guess console exclusives would be on that, would be part of that flavor. Like to me, Symphony of the Night, Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy VII, which is published by Sony, as we
Yeah,
established all the time,
then you're just like,
are all those are
then
all,
it's just everything.
Yeah, I mean the PS1 dominated that whole generation, except for the Nintendo games on the Nintendo platform. So it's like then it's just like a '90s video game collection.
Well, how about
minus
this?
Nintendo?
I think the way we're building the list now, we're far enough along and we need to finish it. I do agree that I dream of
ship
the
has
universe
sailed,
while these
Vince.
games are available. But no, I would prefer to play what you're proposing.
Yeah.
But since we're already narrowing this list down, we probably ought to.
So we got.
all right.
Sorry, Twisted Metal Black. You're a good game. You
Yeah.
gotta
Yeah.
go.
We keep Twisted Metal 2. Now, we have 4 Crash Bandicoot games on here right now.
Let's just keep the first
1,
one.
2, 3, and Team Racing.
Let's get rid of 2 and 3.
You can cut Team Racing just for me being magnanimous
I like
to
Team
move this
Racing.
along, but I think it's fantastic for the record.
I think
I'm with. I would like Team Racing and get rid of 2 and 3. Just
I don't
like
think.
Bandicoot and Team
I
Racing.
think if you're making a list that is,
You can cut
this is what
3.
Sony was, cutting all the Crash platformers and saying, yeah, well, Crash Team Racing is on
No,
there.
but not all of them.
Would be,
We can cut. I mean, look. If this were my list, I would cut 3 and keep Team Racing.
Well, we cut 2 and 3.
I would
See,
say if you're going
and
to keep one of the platformers, you keep 2, because I think 2 is the best.
Okay, so how about 1, 2,
my
and Team
opinion.
Racing? Make the
1,
list?
2, and Team Racing.
Okay. I have to.
Vince is so offended right now.
Parappa and Jammer?
Cut Jammer.
I think you cut on Jammer.
You can get away with cutting on Jammer, even though it might be a better game.
It is a better game, but no one remembers the songs.
It's the only video game where someone is faxed out of hell, which is just beautiful.
Well,
the record.
are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure no one else has ever faxed out of hell.
How many
in
have
any
we
other
cut?
video
3
game.
or 4? We've cut 3.
yeah.
We got four more cuts.
Bloody Roar?
Yeah, you can get rid of it.
cut.
I like it, but it's not that good.
Okay. And we're keeping the original Toomba.
Did we go with Tomb or Tomb 2?
Which is better?
I think Tomba 2 is better.
think so?
Let's go with Fence. If you,
They were both on there for now?
Yep.
Oh, that one of those is an easy cut.
All right, Toomba 2. Armored Core. We're just keeping the first one.
yeah, I like having Armored Core on this list.
I have good memories of playing Armored
Yeah.
Core on my
Yeah.
PlayStation. But Blasto?
It can go.
I buy Blasto.
Yeah.
My Blasto. So, where does that put us
The
now?
only crappy thing about a game like Blast, like Rare Replay does serve as kind of a museum piece.
Yeah,
like it's
exactly.
hard to find and play. Like Blasto is just like you can buy and play, the Sly collection, for example, but you can't get Blasto.
Why don't we do that then?
anywhere.
Why don't we get rid of a couple of Sly Coopers and keep a Blasto? Because Sly games are good, but we only need 1 or 2 to get the
And they
feel.
don't need to be in this collection in the way that Blasto does.
Yeah,
Sure.
I
We need
like
to cut
that.
4 more games.
What?
Let's add Blasto back.
Now we need to cut 5 games.
Adding Blasto back.
We have 3 Sly Coopers on here.
I'd like to
Okay.
point out for the audience at home that this is way more friendly and cordial and laid back than the way these kinds of meetings actually go when we have to do best ofs.
We are working on. I said on Twitter, so this isn't a secret, that we're doing the top 100 games. We're doing the top 100 games of all time. That's
Yeah.
a project coming up on IGN
Sure.
in a few months,
Yep.
and those meetings are just going to be the worst.
Oh, and every year the Game of the Year meetings are just like
Yeah.
Thank
everyone
you.
leaves angry.
Thank you for not doing what you and Sam joked about doing, by the way. That I would have just cried.
Hold on. Should we cut Year of the Dragon because no one remembered that one? Spyro Year of the Dragon.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel uncomfortable. I just feel like we all probably missed it. Like I feel uncomfortable that there's some game that's that high of a Metacritic that we don't know, but we don't. I
We
don't.
can't all have played everything.
Yeah.
So we need to cut 4 more games. We're keeping
Klonoa?
We're keeping 3 Ape Escapes.
That was Namco.
I don't. The Ape Escapes were together for me, so I don't remember what's what. I'm sure we can get rid of.
I haven't played Ape Escape, so I'm ignorant.
man,
here.
you would love Ape
I
Escape.
know. Yeah, we talked about this last week. I'm absolutely
You're
going to play
ignorant
it.
about apes?
Yeah. Yeah, you were talking
Vince,
about how great
you
it
have-
was.
What's
last
your
week.
Ape Escape experience?
No, I've played all of them.
Okay.
I think they're all great games, but I think one was the one that made people go like, "Whoa, this
Because
is coming
it
out of
showcased
nowhere."
dual-
Because
It had
showcased
really
the
clever dual analog
so well.
controls, and it was just such a cool idea.
Yeah.
And like they were just kind of less relevant. Like they weren't as inventive the sequels as they maybe.
Yeah,
should
they
have been.
weren't. Like the first one is the one that made everyone go take notice.
Yeah.
So that's the one I should play, guys? When
Yeah.
I go
Yeah.
do this?
cut
Okay.
2 and 3.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't remember if two and three it may be one of those deals where they're better games, but they just weren't as relevant when
We
they
need to
came
cut
out.
2
I don't
more
remember, really.
games.
Get Blasto
Dark
back.
Cloud.
You got to get Blasto
We got
back.
Blasto
We got
back.
Blasto back.
Dark Cloud 2 though.
No, you got to cut Blasto.
Yeah,
Oh, cut Blasto.
I think
Really?
Blasto's got to go.
I feel like Dark Cloud 2 could go before Blasto.
Well, they both go, and then we're done.
Well, that's true. If we cut both those, we're done.
What else is down the list? Anything else?
SOCOM 3, War of the Monsters, Jack and Daxter Collection, Killzone 1 and 2, Sly Cooper 1, 2, and 3, Shadow of the Colossus, Resistance, Heavenly Sword, Motorstorm, Uncharted, and Super Stardust.
I feel like we can cut nothing out of that list. Blasto,
Blastos.
Dark Cloud, and maybe one of the Sly Coopers. It feels weird that we're cutting Crashes and not Slies.
Yeah, that also seems strange to me.
Okay. So Sly Cooper,
I don't know which ones are best, though.
I thought it
It's
was
been
really.
too long.
We need to keep the first one.
Let's just
Two,
keep the first
two
one.
and 3 blur together for me,
Yeah.
and 1 feels very different than those 2.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care. This is a made up.
All right.
This is a made up.
Let's cut
exercise.
Sly 2 and 3.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah?
There
I'm
we
fine
go.
with that.
We
Okay.
get more variety on the list by
So
keeping
let me
Dark Cloud.
count, and then I think we
All
might
right,
be
this
good.
is very
1, 2,
riveting.
3,
I want this
4,
disc
5,
now.
6, 7,
Can you imagine?
Oh, it'd be amazing.
Oh, it'd be
incredible.
9,
It'll
10,
never happen 'cause they're
11,
still selling us
12,
these
13,
games for-
14, 15,
Yeah,
16,
they're
17,
still
18,
$10
19,
on PSN.
20, 21, 22, 23,
Yeah.
24, 25, 26, 27, 28. With
what I thought.
Blasto is 29. We need to put one more on.
That's what I thought. You had us cutting too many.
So Sly Cooper 2 or 3?
We don't know the difference, so let's say 2.
2.
Sure.
Sly Cooper 2.
There we go.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sony Replay Collection available later this fall. 30 games for $30. Gets you Twisted Metal 2, The Raiden Project, Crash Bandicoot 2, Crash Team Racing, Parappa the Rapper, Toomba 2, Armored Core, Blasto, Hot Shots Golf 3, Medieval, Spyro the Dragon, Ape Escape, Gran Turismo 4, Vib Ribbon, Siphon Filter, The Ratchet & Clank Collection, SOCOM 3, War of the Monsters, Jack and Daxter Collection, Killzone 1, Killzone 2, Sly Cooper 2, Shadow of the Colossus, Resistance, Heavenly Sword, Motorstorm, Uncharted, and Super Stardust HD.
Somewhere in this world, there is somebody who this was exactly the 30 games they owned. Like
Yeah.
this was somebody's PlayStation library, and I want to buy this right now. How do
I don't
we,
know. I think for the
23 minutes.
I think for the
Come up with that
Microsoft
list.
one, I think we have to determine a ironclad criteria. Is it quality or is it like
Well, we
platform exclusives?
have a
Is it-
different challenge for the Microsoft one
Okay.
because I was not able to come up with 30 games.
Okay.
I have like 24.
Okay.
Microsoft published games on consoles, not including PC stuff like Flight Simulator.
Okay.
Right? I'm
Age
thinking
of,
of
Age of Empires.
I mean, could that be
Right.
translated to consoles?
I mean,
don't
it's
know.
Xbox. It's the Xbox collection.
Let me read what I've got here. Halo 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
And 4. Oh, it's too late.
Or it's too late.
Right.
Oddworld, Munch's Odyssey.
Uh-huh.
Project Gotham Racing 1, 2, 3, and 4. Mech Assault. Shenmue 2. Brute Force on the original Xbox.
Brute Force.
Ooh, goodness.
Underrated game.
And I had grabbed by the ghoulies on here, but I guess
That's
that one.
well,
but it's
it's published by-
in the rare replay, right?
I mean, Rare owned Microsoft. Yeah.
Okay, I
Grab
mean,
by the ghoulies.
by the ghoulies.
It's like,
Yeah, it's-
I'm trying to include stuff that's not in rare replay, but Fable 1 and 2, Jade Empire, Phantom Dust, Gears of War 1 and 2, Blue Dragon, Crackdown, Forza, the first Mass Effect, Lost Odyssey, and Ninja Gaiden 2.
Crimson Skies. Crimson Skies.
Yeah, I
Crimson
forgot about
Skies.
it. Forgot about that.
Gotta get Crimson Skies on there. Blinks the time.
Blinks,
time,
dude, I would fight for
timekeeper.
Blinks.
Okay.
Blinks needs to be on there.
Let's see.
Blinks is
Brinks.
Did Microsoft publish Phantom Dust?
yeah.
Yes, they did.
Got to get Phantom Dust on there and turn those servers
I-
back online.
Yeah, my God.
I mean,
I didn't know
I
you were a
had
Phantom Dust guy.
I'm a
Oh, I love it.
gigantic Phantom
four,
Dust
But when
guy.
they
six,
announced
seven,
the
eight,
Phantom
nine,
Dust,
10,
I know, I
11,
lost
12,
my
13,
mind.
14, 15, 16,
Yeah.
17,
And everyone was
18,
like,
19,
what's
20, 21,
wrong?
22,
Phantom Dust and
23, 24,
Cold
25, 26.
Yes!
So we're at
Yeah.
26.
Are there any Xbox Live Arcade exclusives?
Yeah, I mean, we could.
Oh yeah.
like
Oh, yeah, I
things
didn't
that were
even think
only
about that.
Xbox Live Arcade, because those would count as published
Did
on
they?
Microsoft.
I mean, Geometry Wars 2.
Geo Wars
Geo-
1.
No,
Geo
Geo Wars
Wars
1 wasn't
was-
them. That was.
They didn't publish that one.
Bizarre.
Yeah,
Well, I
Bizarre
mean-
might have published that themselves. They might have published 2 themselves.
Oh, I thought that.
Oh, what
I thought
about-
if you were through the store, it was published by you
I mean,
automatically.
I don't.
What about Shadow Complex? They published that
What kind
one.
of
Is that
cheating.
too late?
No, that's Epic.
Epic published it.
Yeah, it's
I
Epic.
mean, yeah, I think so.
Well, I mean, it was only available through their store, so doesn't that by default make them the publisher?
No, why?
Well, no, other
Because they're
other
distributing it.
but like
So?
Square Enix published games on Xbox Live Arcade.
No, that does not make them the publisher.
Yeah, like
I-
Valve is
yeah.
not the publisher of all
You're
the
right.
games I've
I'm
seen.
full of crap. Don't listen to me.
Microsoft did publish Shadow Complex.
Shadow Complex goes on the
Excellent.
list.
Yeah.
The voice of God.
We only need 3 more games. Did Microsoft publish Super Meat Boy?
I don't know who published Super Meat
I mean,
Boy.
maybe.
What about Blood
originally-
Wake?
Blood Wake. I don't remember that one.
There's the boat action game where you have like a boat, like basically a boat that's got a bunch of missiles and
I
machine guns on it.
forgot
and you-
about that.
Yeah.
I don't think
Did
I've ever
Microsoft
heard
publish
of
that?
that game.
Wow.
Did Microsoft publish that game?
I'm trying to. It was an early exclusive for them, so I'm not sure if they.
The original
published
Xbox.
it. Yeah.
You might have just named. You might have just name dropped the very first game on GameScoop that I've never heard of.
Wow.
Yeah. Here's another one for you. It was a Wipeout-like racer. I can't remember the full name. Quantum something.
I don't know.
Conundrum.
I don't know.
Fusion Frenzy. There's Fusion Frenzy.
There's-
Fusion Frenzy 2.
So put it on. I mean, it's not a great game, but it's a part. It was their Mario Party. Like it goes on
the
there.
second one
Sure.
is the one.
It goes
included,
on there
right?
for historical context.
Sure, I can see
Okay.
that. I can
Yeah.
see that.
Limbo.
They published it. Is that true, God Mike?
According to Wikipedia, Microsoft did publish it for XP.
Limbo, published
Wow.
by Microsoft.
There we
for
go.
Isn't that
XBLA.
after 2008?
It was
Yeah.
2009. You're
It-
right. Shoot.
And some of that stuff is also. I mean, I don't know.
I know,
It's
I know,
not. It's
I know.
not considered a Microsoft game.
I know.
Yeah,
We're
that's-
trying
that's
to
the
get
hard part.
30.
We're
We're at
trying to-
28.
Put Rare's best things on there.
Is Blinks on there?
Okay, it's just cheap.
Yeah, we just
Blinks.
grabbed
Yeah,
a
we
couple
have
of good
we added
we
references.
put Blinks on there. But then it's like, it's already in the rare replay.
I got
was trying to get
Solitaire and Minesweeper as bonus content, and then we got 30.
Did Double
Hexic.
Fine? Did Double Fine pub?
Hexic. Oh, Hexic.
Yeah, I said Hexic a long time ago.
Hexic's really good.
I didn't hear anyone.
We just weren't listening to you.
Cool. That's pretty commonplace.
29 games for $29 is what we're at right now.
No, what I was going to ask is, did Double Fine publish Psychonauts, or did Microsoft publish that?
I think
Wait,
that must have been Double Fine.
Yeah.
For my 30th game, I want the Microsoft Entertainment Pack from the old Windows 95.
No.
I want all those on there.
I think they
Fuji
published-
Golf. Fuji
yeah.
Golf, man. Ski free.
All right, we may have. This may have to be
Chips challenge?
This may have to be a
Chips
29 game collection.
No.
You're unwilling, even though Grab by the Ghoulies is on there, you're unwilling to say Perfect Dark Zero.
What about full auto?
Okay, how about this? What if you just put Rare Replay as the thing?
Rare.
No, but it's past
That's too
2008.
late.
But
Who
that's
cares?
past 2008. That's past
It doesn't
2008.
matter.
What about full auto? Was full auto published?
I don't
by-
remember. I don't remember.
It was an arcade-ish car combat game. Think.
Is it published by Microsoft? I'll put it on there if it was.
Did Microsoft publish the...
Because-
No, Vigilante, it was too late on that.
You know what? I'm going to put the original
FBLA
Fusion
Vigilante.
Frenzy, and that gives us 30 games.
All right.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The Microsoft Replay Collection available this fall. 30 games for $30. Halo, Halo 2, Halo 3, Oddworld Munch's Odyssey, Project Gotham Racing 2, 3, and 4.
Oh.
Mechasalt, what?
What about Stranger's Wrath?
Published by Microsoft?
I don't know. The Oddworld Inhabitants published through Microsoft on that one?
Too late. It's closed.
it's done.
Mechasalt, Shenmue 2, Brute Force, Grabbed by the Ghoulies, Fable and Fable 2, Jade Empire, Phantom Dust, Gears of War 2, Blue Dragon, Crackdown, Forza, Mass Effect, Lost Odyssey, Ninja Gaiden 2, Crimson Skies, Blinks, Shadow Complex, Fusion Frenzy 1 and 2, and Hexic.
That list could just have Crimson Skies on it, and I pay $30 to play it now. That's
Does this
great.
tell us that Sony has a more impressive lineup of published games?
Well, they've been around a lot.
They've been around,
Yeah, I guess
what,
they've
you
been
around.
know,
They have a whole
one generation longer.
ahead of Microsoft.
Yeah, I mean, my impression has always been that Sony took more risks and did more experimental, weird stuff. You would see weirder things come out of Sony, probably because, it's just Japan.
Japan.
I would say
Japan.
Microsoft publishes fewer games, but tend to be, kind of like blockbuster pillar games, at least now. Like, they used to do stuff like Fusion Frenzy. Like,
Yeah.
it's rare that Microsoft internally releases a game that's not a huge AAA gigantic deal, and Sony still does.
And speaking of experimental, I'm trying to remember, because this is dredging up all kinds of old games. Did Sony publish Katamari?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't know who published it. I don't
Namco.
remember. Was it Namco that
right.
published Katamari? Okay.
I believe so.
Yep.
All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Sony Replay, Microsoft Replay. This next email comes from Robert.
Why we skip Nintendo? Is that just too much? We can't handle it.
Because our friend Michael did not ask about a Nintendo Replay.
Oh, there we go.
But if you want to do a Nintendo Replay, we can do that another time.
Let's definitely do
I
that.
mean,
I don't even know.
that would
how
be
to-
really tough to keep that to just 30 games.
We made a list of the top 125 Nintendo games ever made, so let's just do that for $125.
That would actually be a really good
Sure,
deal.
I'd buy that.
This comes from Robert. He says, at what point would it be better to leave a game and not 100% it? For example, you've lost interest, you're grinding to max level, loot drop rate's not good enough, or don't want to be a jack of all trades and master of none. Robert, the answer is simple. When you are not having fun with the game,
when it is no longer
Just
enjoyable
quit
for you,
playing it.
walk away.
Yeah, I mean, as I said on GameScoop last week, and I'll tell you every week, people, I feel like gamers, especially since they have kind of a completionist mentality, some of us have a little bit of minor or not so minor OCD. We like to see the bar fill and hit 100%. Like, it's really hard for us to put games down and not complete them, but like, you gotta stop. I mean, I'm playing these rare games right now, and like, I want to keep going for Perfect Dark achievements, and I'm like, you know what? Like, my fun to time ratio is just gonna start plummeting.
the
as I,
original
like,
Perfect Dark?
Yeah, like
that whole game's good.
No, that whole game is good, but I'm just saying, like, I blasted through it on Agent. I got my nostalgia points out of it, and I'm like, I could go for the perfect Agent goals and like really work my way through these levels. I'm like,
There are too many.
there's too many games.
There are not just too many games, but there's too many fun things to do in life. I mean,
That's
there's
true.
too many games,
It's like-
and read a book, fall in love, look at the stars.
Well, to be clear, I
take
don't
a
think
nap.
people play games in lieu of falling in love. Or
No, of course
I think
not.
some
I think
people
a lot of
do.
people
I think some people collect the orbs in Crackdown in lieu
Instead of falling in love.
Perhaps.
That was not my insinuation.
We may be
however.
underestimating the average gamer just a little bit there. But my
I'm
point
not
is,
disparaging gamer. I'm just saying, like, that's a time investment.
Sure.
Every hour that you spend video games is an hour you're not spending doing something else.
Right, just like an hour of, pretty much anything is, I guess. But
Just do what's fun.
my point being, though, like, I don't have a problem walking away from games when I'm not enjoying them anymore because the original sentiment there's too many friggin' good games. Like, my backlog is killer at all times.
Yeah.
And there's just games that I look over my backlog and I'm just like, the Charlie Brown music is playing. It's just like,
Yeah.
Like Charlie Brown Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. Charlie Brown Christmas, yeah.
I was singing Linus and Lucy,
sad.
like little happy jazz
It's
music.
a sad, no, not that. So it's like, if you're not enjoying a game, like,
Okay.
No, but there's plenty of other things to play. So just move on. Play something else.
I also would question. I know you. I can tell that you want to move on.
Yep.
But I want to make one more point about
Here
collectibles.
Here comes everybody.
No, I mean the collectibles need to serve a purpose.
Sure,
Like
yeah.
in
Yeah.
Crackdown, I believe the orbs you would earn them and level you up. They weren't just there for no
Everyone
reason.
you grabbed made that power that you needed to get that orb even more powerful.
And sometimes they're in interesting parts of the world. I actually really, really like a game that I think does it just right is World of Warcraft, and its achievement system really encourages you to explore every single game system and physically explore the entire game world. But then other games, it really is, they're just time wasters.
No,
Like you're not, it's like, oh, I like this game, so I want 100% it. And I'm like, yeah, but you're not getting anything back out of you. Like at that point, the game's not respecting your time anymore. Like, so you need to think about what you're really, not all collectibles are created equal, and some are worthwhile and some aren't.
No, I totally
all
agree.
collectibles do serve one purpose, though.
What's that?
Giving guide writers work.
Yeah, that's true.
So please
support your local
keep
guide
including
writer.
collectibles in games so I can have a job.
So it's worth noting that another good reason to all the reasons we stated for walking away, you're not having fun, you don't want to do it anymore, do not apply if you literally do this for a living. That's
yeah.
All right, this next email comes from Josh. He says, I have a question about the future of the console wars.
Oh.
Xbox and PlayStation have been head-to-head for a while now. Doesn't seem to be letting up anytime soon. My question is, what would happen if one of the consoles actually won and put the other company out of business completely? What if Sony became a
Sega.
monopoly of the main consoles? I personally think that the games could work better because they will be made specifically for the PS4, but pricing and marketing could change dramatically. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, I mean, I've been advocating for a one console future forever, for a decade. I want it to be a standard, like Blu-ray is, or like VHS was before it, like DVD was. I want there to be a standard, and then different manufacturers can manufacture a box. Now, of course, then you run into,
like a Steam box.
The 3DO.
well, because then you run into problems where everyone has a standardized box, but then the Xbox box has some special doohickey on it that they have some Kinect add-on, and then it all just
It
splinters
should be
off
like
again.
a Blu-ray player.
I think it should be like a
But
Blu-ray
you could
player.
theoretically run into the same problem if you had the same specs, but everyone's. So if the specs are all the same, then what's different from box to box? Is it connections? Is it like menu systems?
Right.
I guess like something has to be different in order for a manufacturer to put in the investment of making their own thing to carve out their niche of the market, right? So it's like then the problem becomes. The Samsung box versus the Toshiba box.
Right.
This one has these capabilities, that one has those capabilities. Now, if I'm a developer, which capabilities do I keep in mind?
Right, but they all play movies equally, right?
I would say counterpoint to this, though. And I think you make a valid point there. But counterpoint, I think the competition's good for us. I think the console war culture is terrible for us. But I think the competition can be good. For example, when Microsoft comes out and a couple of years ago and says, here's our always-on entertainment-friendly box.
Yeah, if they were the only ones making
Yes,
the video
that's
game
the other
console, then
half
it's
of
like,
it.
well...
But you can still have that competition even if all games ran on all platforms. That's a function separate from the games being run on. You put the disc in. And
Yeah, but you're still at that point. We're talking about we're talking about the kinds of. We're still talking about different consoles at that point. We're talking about different focus.
Video games are
think
the
of them like-
only medium that you can put a CD in
them
any CD player.
Like Blu-ray players.
Yeah.
There's a variety of Blu-ray players available on the market, but every Blu-ray will work in every player, right?
Right, but at the end of the day, that's because the only mode by which you can interact with a Blu-ray is to look at it, and something that
That's a good point.
and something that needs to be played from a software standpoint, from a design standpoint, has to be designed very specifically around the capabilities of whatever machine it's being played on. So it's like it's got to be one of two things: either there are no competitors, there's one standard, and that's just what it is, which I think is a bad look for consumers. Or you can talk. If you did it's a standard in terms of the specs, but the implementation is different, then inevitably, like it becomes a question for a developer. Like, well, the Toshiba box has like 4 inputs for controllers, and the other ones have 2. So I want to make a 4-player game, so I can only sell my game on the Toshiba box. That becomes like really getting into the weeds there, and becomes, I think you fragment your audience at that point, and it makes it a headache for software developers, I think. At that
I
point.
concur that you have a really good point there. There might be more in common between video game consoles and cars than there are video game consoles and Blu-ray players. I mean, this is an interactive device, and that's a very different kind of experience.
That's true. Think back to a time when there was, for all intents and purposes, a monopoly in the video game industry, 1985 to 1989, and I would just like to point out that nobody looks back on that as a dark period.
That's because we were all too young to know how dark it was.
But it wasn't a dark period.
great.
Like software thrived.
Well, software thrived, but the moment third parties had a chance to get out of that deal,
That's true.
they ran for the hills. I mean,
true.
the second they had somewhere else to go.
Yeah, because they could make more money. Like,
Sure.
That's the impetus of every company on Earth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, would I say it's a dark time in terms of like there were bad games? No, there were great games.
Yeah.
But I think that, I would argue that once that smoke clears and we get into the 16-bit era where everyone isn't like chained with by titanium to Nintendo, I think we get a better era of games.
See, but I think here's the deal. Like everyone says, oh, competition is good, so thereby multiple consoles are good. But what's good is competition amongst the software makers, and that raises the bar. Like I don't care about hardware competition. It's a pain in the ass that I have to buy 2 $400 or $500 boxes to play all the video games I want to buy, or 3 if I'm interested in Nintendo, which I am. Like,
But it's not
I don't like that. Like I'd rather have that $800 back and spend it on 16 more great games by having one box that plays all the games. And I have to have a PC. Like, I don't like that fragmentation at all. I don't think it's good for consumers. Like, yeah, competition's good, but you need to really think about what competition you want. Like, does there need to be competing boxes?
I think we're at this point almost arguing semantics here. My problem, the boxes are almost identical at this point anyway.
Yeah, you gotta buy them both.
It's the operating system that's the problem. That when I think of the console first, and when I talked about the example earlier, Microsoft versus Sony at E3 2 years ago, that was really an operating system focus level issue. Yeah. I think that's as much a part of the console as anything now. And I do think that while the hardware standards could easily be made more adaptable, I do worry that that if you don't have some distinctiveness in the way that you interface with the unit itself, you're not going to.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of counterpoints. Like, I think Nintendo's marriage of hardware and software is really special, and that's part of what makes the company so special. So to remove that and just say, look, you make games for someone else's standard now, you'd still have incredible game experiences from Nintendo, but I definitely think there's something lost there. Like, there's plenty of counter arguments to be made, but I mean, you're right that the PS4 and Xbox One are very similar boxes, and it's a pain, and I don't like that I am a Halo fan and I'm an Uncharted fan, and that's like a $400 tax on me as a gamer.
It's true. Speaking of console wars, I want to recommend the book Console Wars.
That's great.
Currently reading it right now. Super fascinating look at how Sega clawed its way up to fight, neck and neck with Nintendo in the late '80s and early '90s.
And then got its neck slit.
Well,
In the end.
eventually. But like, I was a Nintendo kid growing up, and just reading about how Sega really like put a plan in place to take on Nintendo, and then achieved their goals is super fascinating.
The fact that they
gives me a lot of respect for them.
that Kalinske that freedom,
Exactly.
it's unprecedented.
And then a
is called-
concept. What's up? I'm sorry.
No, the book is called Console Wars. You should check it out.
And I was gonna say, and then a concept video of the first Gran Turismo destroyed them.
Well,
That's always what I look back on. That moment, that E3, where like Sega was there with working Dreamcasts and amazing looking
You mean
games.
Saturn?
Yeah.
Saturn?
What's that?
Working Saturn or
No,
working
Dreamcast.
Which one are you talking about?
I'm talking when they were there with the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
And then the PS2 wasn't a thing that existed yet.
Oh, I'm
but
sorry.
Sony was like, here's this concept video of what Gran Turismo will look like on PS2.
Yeah.
And it never looked anywhere close to that.
No.
But on that alone, people were like, whoa. Everyone stopped and went, whoa, I don't want to get the mediocre system now. I want to get the super system later.
Well,
And it was just a year of slow death.
To
for Dreamcast.
be fair, they had poisoned their well years before.
Sure.
I mean, that's why I thought you were going back. But this is another topic for another time.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dan.
all right, before we go this week, it's time for Video Game 20 Questions. Yes. And our suggestion this week comes from Arvin, who says, I've been enjoying the Video Game 20 Questions segment. I think it's time for a little bit of a change-up. I'd like to propose Video Game 20 Questions Name That Character. Now, this game is called Who Am I? A game I've been playing a lot with friends
my God.
at bars recently. We were playing it on my bachelor
I'm gonna
party
be
weekend
so
with
bad at
Justin.
this.
A bunch of us were in Germany a couple weeks ago. We played this game for hours. So basically, we're going to assign a video game character to Justin, and he just has to guess, who am I? So I'm going to show you, Justin, close your eyes. I've selected a character.
Okay.
I'm going to show Justin and Vince who Justin is, and I'm going to put the name up on the screen for everyone watching at home.
So I can't. Oh, you're.
So just
gonna
so
put it-
Jared and Vince.
Jared and Vince. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Jared and Vince, sorry.
I got my eyes closed.
So Justin is,
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
and I'm going to put that up on the screen at home, and I'm going to whisper in the ear of all of our podcast listeners right now.
Do I need to close?
Okay, now you can open your eyes, Justin. So, you
Did
may
you really whisper it?
well, I'm going to cut that in later.
I
The
understand.
miracle of
The miracle of
nonlinear editing.
Do I wear a hat?
No.
No?
Okay. Am I a man?
No.
No.
Did I make my debut in the 90s?
Yes.
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 Did I make my debut in video games?
Yes.
Yes.
Do I raid tombs?
No.
No.
Shoot. Am I in an RPG?
No.
No.
Okay. And am I primarily known for being a Nintendo related to Nintendo characters?
You're
No.
associated with Nintendo.
No.
But it's
No.
not-
The answer
it's
is no.
hardly.
The
It's
answer is
hardly a big
pollute.
focus.
Yeah. The answer's no.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. A woman from the 90s that made my debut in video games. That's not Lara Croft, and I don't wear a hat.
Yep.
And I'm not Princess Peach because I'm not primarily associated with Nintendo.
Right.
Correct.
That's correct.
Crap.
How many questions is it?
This
Limit
is open.
Oh, it's just
Yeah,
open.
Okay,
Cool.
keep going.
Ah, man. Am I primarily associated with PlayStation?
No.
Not primarily.
Am I?
No.
Oh man, I don't know where to. Oh, am I a fighting game character?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Am I a Street Fighter character?
Yes.
Yes.
Am I Chun-Li?
Yes.
Yeah, very
Nicely done.
Nicely done.
Nicely done. All right. That was fun. But that didn't take very long. So let's do a real video game 20 questions before we go.
Ooh,
Cool.
okay.
Oh wow, that was
this-
it. I'm the only one that goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So unless you want, do you guys want to do another one? You want to
No,
go?
I mean, I would be terrified to do it because like I'm infamously, I'm more into mechanics and.
Jared,
I'll
you
try
want to
it.
do it?
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll try it.
My God.
Really loud voice of God.
All right, let me write down
I'll try it. Sure.
who Jared is going to be here. Oh, sorry.
All right.
I will remember names of obscure games from.
We did.
many
I've
years
played a
ago,
lot of
but
20 questions lately. And so there's little tricks to hone in on things faster than you might think.
I may
All right,
fail
Jared,
terribly
close your
at
eyes.
this. All right, you got
How
it.
about this one? Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Okay.
I'll put it up on the screen. I'll whisper it in our listener's ear. And okay, Jared, who do you think you are?
Do I have a gender?
Yes.
Crap!
Kind of.
Kind of.
I mean,
kind of.
more yes than no.
Am I mechanical?
Yes.
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 Okay, I'm mechanical.
Jesus. How did you do that?
Let's see. So I'm mechanical. There's so many things I could be. Was I born in the 80s?
No.
Was I born in the 90s?
Well, wait. Are we
hold on.
talking?
Was
Are we
your
talking
mechanical? You're asking about birth dates for your mechanical.
Are you asking about?
I'm asking if I were created in.
I'm trying to think of the.
Was the game I was
there we
associated
go.
Oh,
with
okay,
created
okay,
in the 1980s?
No.
No.
No. Was the game 90s?
No.
2000s?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
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 After 2000, during or after 2010?
No.
No.
Okay. All right. So
Is it that early?
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
So sometime in the 2000s. Let's see. I'm a robot, or I'm mechanical. Am I a robot?
Sort of. No.
Can't-
No. I would say no.
You can be.
Oh my
You
gosh.
yourself, no.
You yourself, no. Yeah, it's you yourself are not.
I myself am not. What in the world?
Technically, you yourself. If we're going to be real, no.
It's
If
yes
we're
or no
gonna-
questions.
Because it's
You're not a
his
robot.
earlier question. He's also technically not mechanical.
That's
either.
true.
What?
That's true.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
He's no more mechanical.
I guess
you know.
Yeah, sorry. We
Am-
misled you there.
Am I a
his
block
character
of
is-
wood?
his-
Let's see. Can I be more than one thing? Do I change form?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of.
yeah,
I mean,
kind
right?
of.
This is very abstract.
This is really
Wow,
tough.
I
This
went the wrong
particular
way.
character is tough.
I'm going the wrong way here, huh?
I
Okay,
don't.
let's
I don't
see.
know if you're going the wrong way.
Am I something man
No.
or
do you mean,
something?
like-
boy?
I know what you're asking.
Is
No.
that in your name?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Oh,
No.
oh,
No,
That's
I'm
re-
neither.
that's really cute, but no,
I'm
you're
neither
not-
a Mega Man nor a Meat Boy.
Yeah.
No, okay.
You're,
Good.
you're not. You're not Cut Man or a Wood Man.
Let's see. Am I benevolent?
No.
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 Oh.
No. Definitively not.
Am I a villain in a game?
Yes.
Yes.
Ah. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's a whole other can of worms. Am I primarily associated with a Microsoft product?
No.
Am I primarily associated with a Nintendo product?
No.
Am I primarily associated with a Sony product?
No.
No.
Am I primarily associated with a PC product?
Yes.
I mean.
Yeah. Yes. I mean yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Primarily associated with, like, as in
mean-
people's perceptions of this character.
I think so.
today.
I mean,
Gosh.
that's not my experience with this.
What in the world
with this
am
character.
I? Am I primarily associated with the Sega product?
No.
no.
If
If anything, it's a PC product.
if anything,
I guess
it's
so.
a PC
If
product.
anything.
What in the world is this? I'm a non-gendered, non-living, maybe associated with PC villain.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Cool. This
Exactly.
is
Yeah,
fascinating.
You got this. You're fine.
I got this.
You're
fine.
totally fine.
Yeah, you're doing
Am
a
I
great-
made of metal?
No.
Am I made
Not
of wood?
really.
Not really.
You don't focus so much on physical form.
Okay. Am I an ambiguous idea?
No.
Let's
No.
see.
No.
Do I serve as a final boss?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, yeah.
Do I appear in multiple games?
Yes.
Yes.
Do I appear in more than 3 games?
No.
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 Do I appear in less than 3 games?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Do I appear in 2
Well,
games?
Yes.
Yes.
In your like.
Yes.
In the main thrust of your saga.
2 games.
Less.
2
yeah,
games.
yes.
2 games. Am I in a platformer?
No.
No.
Am I in a race?
Well-
It's not a platformer.
Whoa.
I don't think
It's not a platformer.
I don't think that's what you would like categorize.
Okay, no, you're right.
Your genre.
That's a fair answer. That's a fair answer.
Am I in an exploratory 3D adventure?
No.
No.
That's not the genre I would put either.
Okay.
Yeah.
Am I in an easily defined genre?
Yes.
I
Well,
don't.
not
I
that
don't
easily.
think so. No,
I mean-
I don't think so.
Everything about me is ambiguous.
Yeah. that's-
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Am I Dr. Ambiguity? Let's see. Let's try my powers. Do I attack with lightning?
No.
Do I attack with fire?
Maybe you should start a little bit more basic than that. Let's go one level up.
One level up, a little more elemental, huh?
No, I mean, what was your word? Do I attack with lightning? Yeah. What about just drop the lightning off of that?
Do I attack?
No.
No. Yeah, it's true. Whoa.
Wait.
Whoa, actually.
That's not true.
Yeah, it is.
It's not true.
It's not true.
Okay.
He's right.
Right?
It's not true. It's not
I
true.
am really lost here.
I don't.
You attack.
Yeah, but not like directly.
Let's see.
But still attack. But an attack is an attack.
But the end.
Yep.
What in the world?
You attack psychologically pretty often.
That's too much of a hint.
Okay, we gotta get to where we're going. We gotta get to the finish
This is
line.
unfair.
No, I don't know if it's unfair or not. I think I'm just doing badly here.
No, you're not doing
You
badly.
asked about gender.
Yeah.
Maybe try to
Okay.
hone in on
Do
that.
I have both genders?
No.
Do I have genitals?
No.
No.
No. Do I?
What about? Do you speak?
Do I speak?
Yes. Justin.
You're trying to help me so much. I
trying to help
appreciate it.
him.
I thank you. I'm just
So maybe now you can hone in on.
The thing is, you may want to try to hone in a little more what I'm saying on.
You know that you are a villain
Yep.
in a game from the 2000s
Yep.
that
Had 2 games.
had 2 games.
right?
If it were going to be associated with any platform, it would be PC.
Yep.
And you
gosh.
are a final boss.
I'm the final boss, and I'm failing this utterly.
You don't have.
Is my opponent a human?
Yes.
Yes.
Is my opponent a human male?
No.
No.
Is my opponent a human female?
Yes.
Okay, so human.
That should be a big hint.
That should be a
because
huge
there are
hint,
sadly
yes.
not too many of those.
Not too many of those, right? Let's see. Is my I'm Gladys.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for all the help. I feel like
Yeah,
I
that's
kinda
a tricky
cheated
one,
there.
right?
Thank you, Justin. For
That was a really tricky one.
Yeah.
It was hard. You're like, when you came out with, do I have a gender?
I thought
was
you
like,
were. I thought you were gonna get it in like 3
yeah,
questions.
me too. I was like, wow, what's he doing? Is he psychic? I'm like,
Yeah.
what is this?
Well, I just I feel silly. Oh wow.
No.
It's a tough one.
That's,
man, that was
that
a
is
tough
a
one.
really tough one.
She often attacks your feelings.
Yeah, I had that. Well, she does. She shoots rockets at you, and
Not sort of.
and
I mean,
releases-
she fills the room with poison gas.
she actually shoots rockets at you during that fight.
She takes a mechanical form and attacks you. At the end.
She hangs there.
but
she
rockets
doesn't attack
pop
you.
out of the floor.
Right,
And she's like
but
standing
the
still.
rocket-
while
Isn't
it kills
she
you.
sending those
But
rockets
the
at you?
rocket
guess.
sent at him is her will. I mean,
That's why. Okay, I'm willing to concede, but I consider that a little bit indirect. An indirect attack.
But an attack nonetheless.
Sure. Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Maybe I led you astray.
Thank you so much. And the psychological attacks, I should have caught it right there. Honestly, with the mechanical thing, I was just like, maybe they'll throw a curveball. But
do you see? Do you
She's an
see why
AI.
we said she's not
Yeah.
mechanical? Why I was like, why I was
well,
like,
again, with the mechanical, I was thinking of robotics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's good. Thank you guys very much. That was fun.
Is that game fun?
What?
Is it, or is video game 20 questions?
Oh, I thought it was a portal.
no, they're both fun. They're both
great.
fun. I like them both.
Viewers, listeners, let us know what you think about video game Who Am I? If you have suggestions, send them to gamescoop@ign.com. That's all the scoops we have for you this week. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Vince. My name is Damon. This is IGN Gamescoop, and we're out.